To decorate this, I'm going to use the ephemera from the kit. I have printed it in 2 different sizes, the standard A4 or US letter size and also the 5x7. That means I have different size pieces of ephemera that I can use in this journal. I've started by simply adding a tag that's been stained in the ground espresso. I've taken a postcard, stained the edges, added a keyhole so that there's space to add a journaling card. The journaling card, I've backed it with some of the spare offcuts from these and stained it. And now I'm going to go back round, stain it a bit more. Partly because normally I would use coffee stained paper so you wouldn't get that white showing through. Partly because I like a strong edge. I have also used some spare design and this punch from Vasson Creative, which isn't cheap, but I use it a lot to create these file tabs, and punched that out and stained it. And I've stained it on the inside so that if I fold it and it doesn't quite meet, the white of the paper doesn't show through. I'm adding this to the side so that it's easier to get in and out of the pocket. Something I like to have handy is kitchen towel. When we press it down, any glue that comes out can be mopped up immediately. Then burnish it for a good adhesion. That is now ready to go into that pocket. These are going to be left blank, as are those. When we get to pages that I think are maybe slightly more difficult to write upon, I think that one's easy enough, we can add a small decoration of some sort. Here we might add just one of these drawer labels so that if someone put a photo there, they could title it up. This page I may do something a bit more. We could create a tuck spot from this one, or different style of tuck spot. Got that. Double page that you cannot write on. I do have this spare paper here. I'm going to cut that out to start with. Having cut that out, I'm now going to cut it on a diagonal. Thinking we can do a top loading and a bottom loading across the two, but obviously they're going to need cutting down. Can we get away with one being smaller than the other, but they're opposite each other? Because they do not fully match, we could do a small piece of decoration just in that corner. Quite like the microscope, but I want it the same colour as the stain. Hopefully that will tuck nicely into there. This needs something into this one, and we could go with a tag. Let's have a look at what else is left in this first signature. This time we'll do a flip. I think what I might do is back this one with coffee stain, but leave enough at the top so that I can create a hinge. To create some pictures in here, I will be using books that I've picked up from thrift shops. This is a big book with lots of photos from the 20th century history. To make sure this stays nice and sharp looking on the page, I'm taking the black StazOn ink and running it along the edges of the cuts. On cutting this out, we've left a good piece of the backing paper at the top. I shall cut that at an angle and fold it over. That creates our hinge. Now, this will go over this one. We're going to place the whole thing on that page. This one could do with something, but we'll probably just do a small pocket. It will need the tiniest of amounts taking off that. Found this picture and a fact, so I have cut the fact out and stained it with some vintage photo. to add to the back of this. This I'm leaving blank because you can write on it. Same with that. Here we go. Another one that might need a little something. You could just put a decoration with a journaling space. For example, I've got these people cut out. I could use some of that spare paper and cut a piece and have a journaling area. This has been stained again with the distress ink, and now I think we can put that down. That one's down. We just want to quickly go through and see if there's anything else, because that's quite a few blank pages, so it might be quite nice to put a small decoration down. Okay, let's keep going. We might have quite a few blanks here. Maybe something on this one. Tiniest of tickets could go on that corner. And we could do a small piece of stamping. Have my Memento espresso truffle again, and the stamp that we used on the cloth pieces. Throw some of this down. I think that's good for signature 1. On to decorating the second signature. On the front, a 3-piece collage, which looks like the ticket is coming out of the drawer. Here I've stuck a man with a baby just to add some interest to this page. We have a shaped pocket and a tag to go in it. Just need to add a piece of string as the top for the tag. That can sit in there. I have a double page here and it's all writing spaces, so I feel like we should at least add a bit of decoration. The penny farthing, we could do that with something behind it. Stain that one. We have a small thing that says journal, so maybe we could do a collage on the bottom of that page. All of that is probably okay. We can go back through and make sure. Got lots of blank pages on this one, so I do feel like we need to do something. A tuck spot, to do a flip of some sort. I've gone for a plainer style flip, so you have spaces to write on. And I'm actually going to attach it directly to the page and decorate over the page. Make sure that's down. Take a strip of another paper, for example the striped one, and do a page border on this side. Cover up that join. It's not great along here. I may stain that in and put a small decoration to cover up a slightly crooked line. For the final page, we're going to fold a set of pockets by folding this page down, folding that back. We will need to cut this down a bit because it's going to be too big. Folding it over this way and folding it back again. Push that and score it in first, and then we're going to cut this to fit the page. That offcut will make a pocket for the third signature. Meanwhile, we've got a double pocket for this one. Now we just need to glue down we could even have it flip open, and when it flips open we could have a small secret pocket. For this final pocket, we've got from the book Laurel and Hardy and Buster Keaton, and I've glued the facts on the reverse. For inside we have this tiny ticket, and now we just want to see if we're happy with this signature. It's all to do with film, and although that's not a film camera, we could put a camera there. Looking to see where I want to add an ink stamp. This page here. For the final signature, I'm going to run through what's been done because you've already seen the first two. A small collage is the first page. I have some blank pages. The second part of that pocket that was too large for the previous signature has now been used in here. From a spare piece of paper, I made a pocket and simply cut the corners off, added a bit of decoration and a tag. Here we have a large journaling card, again from that history book, the facts, some bits of ephemera on one side and then blank on the other for writing on. The large tag from the pack has been added to this page with a paper clip, but the paper clip has actually been glued down on this side, so one of the pieces of ephemera has been used to cover the back of that paper clip. Small collage detail on this page, and on the following page, the journal, I cut into the oval shape and inked it and made it into a belly band, so a tiny bit of glue each end, and then a collage tag from bits of ephemera I hadn't used, plus the top, and then more spare page on the back. And on the final pages, grungy ink stamp. On every single signature, we've got pockets, tags, belly bands or page decorations, and ink stamping. That gives it a cohesiveness throughout the whole journal.